Hello and welcome to Escondido campus. Today we are going to go over how to start your shift. When you first arrive, you're going to park in our guest parking lot. It is preferred for you to take a space towards the back of the lot to leave the front spaces available to our guests, especially our potential adopters. Once you've parked, you're going to head into the volunteer center. To access the volunteer center, it's best to enter through the side of the building. Our front lobby doors don't unlock until 10 a.m. So especially if your shift is first thing in the morning, just bypass those front doors and come right into the side door of the volunteer area. So you're going to pass by one door, which is to our conference room, right over to this door that's labeled volunteer office. Now, if for some reason on the first shift of the day, the door hasn't been unlocked yet, we do have a plan B system. So right over on this door is a doorbell. This doorbell is only used by volunteers, so please don't inform guests about it or have them observe you using it. If you get here and that side door is not unlocked, you can ring this bell as many times as you need to in order for staff to be alerted and come and let you in so that you can get into the volunteer center. So once you enter the volunteer hallway, you're going to start off in the volunteer office. We do have lockers with locks available for you to store your belongings in: purse, backpack, spare change of clothes, cell phone. If you do store your cell phone in here, please turn it on silent so that the ringing does not disrupt anybody else in the office. Once you've stored your belongings, want to do a little mental check that you are in proper volunteer uniform. So do you have either volunteer shirt or apron on? Do you have full-length pants? Do you have closed-toed shoes? And then the next step is making sure that you have your volunteer name badge as well. If it's your first shift here at Escondido campus, then your name badge will likely be right up here in the new name badge section on our info board. If this is not your first shift, then perhaps you have kept your name badge with you, or maybe you stored it on site here in the name badge box. There's an update board that you may want to glance over to make sure you're up to date with any recent changes. And then we have a few different supplies available to you. Almost every role is going to need to check out a key. These keys will get you into some of the different rooms and also exterior doors for some of the rooms. So we just use a dry erase board system where you take the key and write your name. So in case you accidentally take this home with you, we know who to call to get it returned to us. Some volunteers also like to hang their keys or another personal item here to help them remember to switch it back at the end of the shift. That's totally up to you. Another item that you may end up checking out is a radio. All of our volunteers are welcome to utilize our radios, but especially our canine companions find them very helpful for a variety of reasons. If you do choose to check out a radio, or your role is required to check out a radio, you would remove it from its charger, turn it on, make sure that it's on the appropriate channel. If you have any questions about that, you can ask staff and we'll walk you through the details of it. And each one has a tag on it with a number. So you're going to find that number on this board, and just like the keys, you're going to write your name so that in case you accidentally take this home, we know who to call to get it returned to us. We do also have some communal lanyards if you prefer to wear your name badge on a lanyard. We have some spare aprons in case you forgot your volunteer uniform that day or you're just starting and you haven't purchased yours yet. And then we also have some waist aprons that can be worn in addition to your volunteer shirt. So this is not a substitute for a volunteer uniform. It's just an added option in case you want to keep some of your supplies closer to you. And in the volunteer hallway, we have lots of different supplies and communication tools that different roles will use. We have gloves for people who are going to help with cleaning. We have a lint roller that you can use in between animals you interact with or before you leave for the day. We have hand sanitizer. We have earplugs for volunteers that find it a bit loud in some of our rooms, particularly the dog rooms. We have some general cleaning supplies, cat toys, Ziploc bags, dry erase board items, different forms that are often used, books that some volunteers will use to read to our animals. And then a really important communication tool that every volunteer should know about is our volunteer observation forms. So if you ever have an observation about an animal that you'd like to share, it can be a positive observation, though usually volunteers are reporting concerning observations. You can fill one of these out, and it's a great way to get that information to staff. Now, if there's an emergency, you want to go tell a staff member or radio a staff member right away. But if it's not an emergency, you can fill one of these out, and we'll process it within 24 hours. So you can circle on the form if it's medical related, behavior related, or other, perhaps a facilities observation. Fill out the animal's information, your information, and then whatever the concern is. So certainly if you're working directly with the animals and you notice a behavioral quirk that we need to know about, or even if you don't work directly with the animals, but in walking through the shelter, you observe coughing, sneezing, runny eyes, runny nose, vomiting, diarrhea, anything at all that would concern you about your pet at home, we would want to know that about our animals here. So you can fill that out and tack it up on the cork board, and then staff will check this at least once a day and process that information, let medical know, behavior know, or facilities know, and then we will put it down here when it's been processed so you know that's been taken care of. We do have an electronic version of this form, so if you would prefer to just fill those out even on your phone while you're here volunteering, or once you get home, if you remember, after you've already left, that's a great way to let us know right away about any observations, particularly concerning ones, and we can process those as quickly as possible. So after you're all checked in, then you would go meet your staff partner or maybe a volunteer that's mentoring you that day, or if you're already a volunteer, you would just start your shift. And then this is also the spot you're going to come back to at the end of the day. So when you're done with your shift, you're going to return to the volunteer office, make sure you posted any forms on the board, make sure that you're returning all the equipment, that you're signing out, that you're remembering to get your belongings from the lockers, and then you can head right back out the side door to the parking lot. So that is about it for steps on getting signed in and starting your shift and also wrapping up for the day. We really appreciate the time that you are giving to the animals and people we serve, and we'll see you soon on a shift. Thank you.